All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns. It's All in Colts by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in with the most convincing Super Bowl victory, and sometimes the Eagles did not leave the result to anyone but themselves and avenge their loss to the Chiefs 2 years ago. We'll break it down and give you our game-changing play of the game and Lone Stars of the game. So, let's go. All in Colts.
Yes, I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We're the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All in Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yes, indeed. And since the occasion, we asked this person that we're going to have on as a special guest before the game started to just, if you win or lose, do you want to be on? And he's like, yeah. So here is the Chiefs fan that if you watch our podcast, you know him as Isaiah.
There he is.
There he is.
He was a little late to the game, just like the Chiefs there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's run through the narrative, see how this all went down. The Chiefs won the opening coin toss, and that was about it.
It looked questionable early with a offensive pass interference call, but a makeup call on the other side of the ball did the thing.
Yeah, that was a little concerning. I saw that first offensive pass interference, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And even when the announcers, being Tom Brady, call it out, it's questionable.
Yeah, Isaiah texted me, and he was like, that was not an OPI at all.
It
and
wasn't.
I was like,
not even close.
I get it. I get it with the push on. I get it. There was emphasis put on the head injuries, and that came into play.
It's true.
The Eagles then took the next possession down the field, ending in a Jalen Hurts tush push.
Yep. What else? After a Chiefs 3-and-out, Hurts threw an interception.
Yeah, a little concerning there, but another Chiefs 3-and-out led to an Eagles field goal to open that up for them.
Yep. Then it opened up with the Eagles intercepting Patrick Mahomes on back-to-back plays. The first being a pick six by Cooper DeJean on his birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
Yep. The second one led to another touchdown and the halftime score of 24-0.
Yes. After a slow start and only a field goal from the Eagles, Devontae Smith scored on a one-play bomb play action from Jalen Hurts. I saw him go deep, and I was like, there's no way this happens. And it was underthrown, too. Devontae just made an amazing grab. There's not much that I don't know exactly who the Chiefs defender was, but there was not much that guy could have done against that. Did everything he could to defend it.
I mean, his hand was in there and everything.
Yep.
I think it was Brian Cook, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well,
Not
hey,
that matters.
no, it's fine.
No,
you're good.
Yeah. You would know them better than we do.
Yes.
After a slow start and only a field goal from the Eagles, you did that one. The Chiefs then ended up mustering 22 points, though, but it was too little too late as the Eagles ran the clock while scoring two more field goals to bring the final score to 40-22.
Big blowout win. I think the most exciting part of the Super Bowl for me, once it kind of hit the second quarter, was the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. I really enjoyed it. Someone made a bold comment and said that halftime show was going to be better than Michael Jackson's. And I was like, there is no way this is better than Michael Jackson's. I'm sorry. Kendrick is great, but not that great. And honestly, I wouldn't even think it's as good as a halftime show as the one that featured Kendrick and the Eminem, Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, and all that. I loved it because it had a lot of good moments and stuff like that. But I don't know. I wasn't entertained the whole entire time. So
yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was busy during halftime, but from what I had heard, it was rather So
yeah, I heard it was overhyped because of everything. I definitely think it was good.
I mean,
Isaiah, do you have any comments on this?
5 Grammys, so
it's true he did. You have any comments, Isaiah? Kendrick being your favorite artist and all.
Yeah, I also agree. The best part of that whole game was the halftime show. It It wasn't great. I think I liked it more just because it was Kendrick, but and I'm a little biased, but it wasn't like the greatest.
Yeah.
I wish there was other songs he played, but he played mostly GNX, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. He played the generic songs that a lot of people know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, the greatest Kendrick Lamar moment was 11 years ago when he at the Grammys did a feature on Radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
yeah, I do remember that. That was really good. Yes,
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Now that we kind of talked about that as part of the narrative, because why not? It is a narrative of the Super Bowl. Onto the stat sheet. Jalen Hurts went 17 for 22, 221, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and also led the team in rushing yards with 72 yards on 11 carries and that tush push touchdown that we talked about. Very surprising considering you have Saquon in the backfield.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, who Isaiah is sporting down there, still supporting. I don't blame you. I mean,
we support the Colts still.
He ended 21 of 32 for 257, 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions and a fumble.
In garbage time.
Yeah.
The stats came in
right?
garbage time.
But you know what? I mean, they kept saying, you never know. As long as Patrick Mahomes is over there.
People were saying you never know with 3 minutes left, and I was like, okay, that's a little far fetched now. You got 3 minutes left in the game. Hold on.
I felt like when they were saying you never know, things can change at the end of the second quarter. I was like, man, they're desperately trying to keep people around for ratings for the halftime show and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, literally at the end of the game, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I would hate to have my commercial that I paid $6 million for to be in the fourth quarter whenever.
Yeah.
Right. Really, I mean, unless you just want to watch the football.
Right.
Not really paying attention.
And you take a gamble with that because, sometimes the fourth quarter is the best part.
And it's a 3-point game, 2-point game, something like that. But in this case, it just wasn't. So
nope. He also, though, Patrick Mahomes led his team in rushing attack with 4 rushes for 25 yards.
No other Chief ran for more than 10 yards. To those people who were telling me Pacheco is a top 10 running back in the league, you can't not perform in the Super Bowl for your team. Sorry.
That's rough.
It is rough.
Some of that situational, right?
It's true.
You're down 24-0 at halftime.
You need to pass to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your O-line needs to be good to get good runs.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. That's not what happened.
Saquon Barkley on the other side was held to 57 yards on 25 touches, but did break Terrell Davis's record for the most all-purpose yards in a season, including the playoffs, as he added another 40 yards to the air.
Yes, definitely a dual threat today. 3 other Eagles receivers went for over 40, with Smith leading the way with 69, A.J. Brown with 43, each with a touchdown, and Jahan Dotson, I believe, chipped
Jahan,
in.
I think.
Jahan Dotson chipped in 42 yards himself.
Yep.
So.
Xavier Worthy had a monster outing with 157 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 8 catches.
Proving all the haters wrong. I mean, congrats to him for having a big game.
This was a rookie strong year, as we saw throughout the playoffs, and it kept going because of the rookie performances, even in the Super Bowl.
For sure. Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton headed up with the Chiefs defense with 11 and 9 tackles respectively, and each having 2 tackles for loss.
Yep, Tranquil had a sack, and George Karlaftis added the other.
Yes, the Eagles' defense was relentless with 6 sacks, including Josh Sweat with 2.5, and Milton Williams with 2.
Yep. They also had 11 QB hits and 6 more tackles for loss.
I saw a stat that said, or I heard a stat that said, the Eagles, all 6 of their sacks were on just 4-man rushes, no blitzes at all 4-man rushes. So, which is crazy.
Yep.
Then there was Cooper DeJean's pick 6 and Zach Bond's interception. I looked at Zach Bond's interception and I was like, and he's not the defensive player of the year? What? Like, crazy catch by him.
I mean,
So.
I think we should give a lot of credit to Sweat. What's his first name? Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
Josh
Yeah.
Sweat. Yeah, he gave the pressure to I think it was Joe Tooney that really made Mahomes' pass really awkward. I'm not taking anything away from.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Bond. Because he's laying out.
I'm not taking anything away from him. That was a great catch, but I'm just saying Sweat definitely give some credit to him too. For
Sweat kind of made Mahomes like do like a thing, and Mahomes wasn't able to throw it properly.
Right. Tooney, he forced Tooney into Mahomes that totally changed the trajectory and velocity.
That he's a guard. He's not a tackle.
Yeah.
And he's good, but
He is.
I mean, yeah. So,
Mhm.
All right, that takes us now to the intangibles. Isaiah, why don't you give us some of the intangibles that led to this result?
And if for those of you that don't know, since this is a Super Bowl episode, people may be joining in that have never watched.
Sure.
Intangibles are stuff that don't show up on the stat sheet. So, just stuff that don't show up on the stat sheet that could affect the game a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It can be stats.
It can be,
but
sometimes it is
a little bit more sauce than that to it.
I think one thing our defense took don't let Saquon Barkley do anything way too seriously and only focused on him and then forgot about the whole offense. The passing for Philadelphia was insane. They did great
and balanced.
And it was balanced. Our defense did not look, or at least our secondary did not look as promising or as good as they were.
Because even early in the game, there was still pressure by Bolton up the middle. There was still if you look at the stat and you go, oh, Saquon was held to 2.3 per carry. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs won is what you think.
Yeah. And, I mean, they played a great game, a great run game against Saquon. Everyone was like, oh, their run game's not that good. They haven't gone against someone like Saquon. But I thought they played really well against Saquon. But that was pretty much it. That was the only thing the defense did was against Saquon. So, I mean, that's big. I mean, also our offensive line. I mean, I saw Mahomes. He tweeted out, said, this is completely my fault. Those 2 picks should have never happened. I mean, I'm the reason we lost the game, as a leader should. But, I mean, that line, the line, man, we didn't focus on our tackles. That was a big thing all year for us was our tackles. I mean, we fought through injuries and all that, and so we didn't amp up our tackles. So,
Liam,
I think time of possession is a big thing. I don't know the exact stat because I didn't really have to check it. I was watching the game. It just felt like the Eagles had the ball almost all the time. The turnovers as well, 3-1 is big. That is 2 extra possessions that you're having over the Chiefs, and I know one of them they scored on. I believe the Chiefs did not capitalize on their turnover and did not score off the turnover. And I believe the Eagles scored every single time that they turned the ball over. And honestly, it looked like after
time of possession, 37-23.
Okay, so 14 minutes. That's multiple possessions. And then another thing is I'll touch on what Isaiah said with the whole Saquon thing. You focus way too much on Saquon. And I don't know if people remember this, but I said I've been saying this all playoffs, honestly. Yes, the Eagles have Saquon because they've only had to use him, but they have so much other things as well, and that definitely showed today. Jalen Hurts throwing for over 200, not 250 though, so still not over that 250 mark where they go 0 and
Right.
3. He did throw that touchdown. Sorry, not touchdown, interception, which was a little concerning. Eagles didn't start off good at all, and then they started rolling. Um, so I had another thing. I don't remember. But another thing is the reason why it was 2.3 a carry is because they kept running the ball because they're like something's going to open up, and if it doesn't, at least it may open up, which means that everything else is just so much more open.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts really, really performing today, going out there, balling out. And happy birthday to Saquon and Cooper.
Yep. Isaiah brought this up. Liam brought this up. The pressure with 4. I mean, Vic Fangio, great defensive coordinator, but not known as a fancy defensive coordinator, but gets the most out of what he did. Pressure with 4 was absolutely insane. And once again brought up Isaiah's issue with that they've had all year with the line. Their offensive line. It's been in question all year. And then the turnovers, of course. The thing that I always talk about, especially during the playoffs, is the first 4, middle 8, last 4. That didn't come into play as much. I mean, if you talk about the first 4, the Eagles had the first possession, didn't capitalize because of that, offensive pass interference penalty. But then they really did what they needed to in the middle 8. The last
Definitely.
4, they scored, prevented the Chiefs from scoring to get the double whammy. Also, didn't allow them to do anything on their first possession. So really dominated that middle 8, which, because you think about it, like it was 24. If the Chiefs go down and score and then score again, that's all of a sudden a 10-point game, and could really change the complexion and trajectory of the game if they didn't keep on the pressure, right?
Yeah.
And then, like you kind of mentioned, being able to adjust away from the run game as it got shut down, being able to adjust away from that while still continuing to just poke a little bit, because every so often it would go from, a loss of 1, a gain of 2 or 3 to, we gained 9, or, we got 12, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it takes to just keep it moving, especially when you need to burn time at the end of the game to kind of put it away. So that's mine. All right. Liam, let's start with you. Your Mayflower move of the game, the game-changing point. You can't say coin toss. I already said that.
No, yeah. I think there's not a lot of things. I think there is not a lot of many things. I feel like once the game started going, you kind of knew what was happening. I think I've said this the last couple of times we've done it, that I don't like saying stuff early in the game,
Right.
but I keep on doing it.
Uh-huh.
But I think in this case, more than any other cases, is more valid just because the game was theoretically closer towards the beginning of the game. I think the thing that really separated it was the Cooper DeJean pick 6. Once I saw that, put him up 17-0, I was like, ooh. I was like, this is not feeling great. And that Eagles defense definitely proved that they are the best defense in the league by far, and defense wins championships. So,
all right. Isaiah, what do you think was the game-changing Mayflower move of the game? What had your heart sinking into your stomach?
I was gonna say the pick six, but can I pick like a? Does it have to be one moment, or can I just pick like one?
Sure,
Uh,
go for it.
I'm just gonna say the Eagles defense, but mainly the D line. Just I mean, absolutely just obliterated our O line and just made it real difficult for Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes was trying to be Mahomes, but I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do that when your O line doesn't play well and your receivers don't want to catch.
Yeah.
So,
I think kind of credit to you there. It's a very different game if your D tackles are the one getting upfield, because then Mahomes can do Mahomes things and go to the outsides and stuff like that. But it's the fact that the D tackles were just kind of, I don't know if you noticed this, but they were kind of just not staying there, but they were just enough pressure so he couldn't come up the middle. But
yeah.
and the edges were the ones really making all the moves. Sweat on the outside. I forget who the other edge is, but getting out there, getting into
And-
Mahomes and stuff like that.
And a lot of times the edges were ducking to the inside.
Mhm.
They were creating a cluster in the middle where he couldn't get out either. So,
Yeah.
almost using their tackles against them as setting the edge, you know?
Mhm.
All right. He was I talked him up in the preview. He was my player to watch. To me, now, I will say there's a difference between there's almost three here. Okay. There is the nail in the coffin moment, which was the Devontae Smith bomb, right? At that point, you go, well, there's also the Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to chuck it fumble that is really kind of like, right? That's like the moment where all Chiefs fans, all the hope kind of goes, oh man, like that
Mine
one,
was way
because
before that.
I'd have to go into the all 22 footage to see where that was headed, but I'm fairly confident that might have been going somewhere big to really propel things forward for a comeback.
It was probably going to be the Xavier Worthy one he did way later in the game. That one they kind of already, I'm assuming, but
Yeah,
we'll never know.
right. Like, I'm sure we could, as footage comes out, we could dig into, figure it out. But like that could have been a big play, but all of a sudden, it totally flipped and was the other way. But it has to be the Cooper DeJean pick six. All you have to do is go. There's footage out there of now. It was largely an Eagles crowd, I will say. Like even from the intros, the Chiefs are being booed quite loudly.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are being cheered quite loudly. Probably didn't do them any favors that John Hamm's intro voice cracked for the Chiefs, and Bradley Cooper's was pretty strong. But the moment that happened, you can hear like when you just watch in like a sideline camera view, the crowd just erupts because that literally changed everything moving forward, and that led to the snowball effect. Led to the second pick, which led to the 24-0, and all that kind of stuff. A little sidebar. Do we always have to give the MVP to the quarterback?
Not at all.
Josh Sweat, come on. Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond. Like, the defensive performance was amazing, and you gave it to the quarterback. Speaking of which, I'll just go ahead and start there and say my lone star of the game had to have been Mr. Sweat. Josh Sweat, 2.5 sacks on Patrick Mahomes. Not many people can say they got that in a single game, let alone a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's who I got. Isaiah, who would be your lone star of the game?
I can't.
You can pick for your team if you want.
No, I can't pick the same guy as you. I was gonna pick him. But,
You can.
Okay,
You
you
want
can.
yeah, I'd probably go. I mean, Josh Sweat. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I didn't know if you'd want to go Xavier Worthy because
I mean, he was the best player on the Chiefs, but I'm not gonna pick the team that lost.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably go Josh Sweat. He gave, like he said, the most pressure. I mean, I guess I could put Xavier second if I wanted to, but yeah, I would say Josh. Josh would be the lone star.
Yeah.
all right. Liam?
I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Xavier Worthy because that was a monster game for a rookie in the biggest game of his career so far. He could not have done anything else. Over, I think, 1/3 of Patrick's yards were to him.
Yep.
Or not over 1/3, over 3/4 is what I meant to say. So monster game from him, 2 touchdowns as well, only on 8 catches, so he's catching deep balls too. But Josh Sweat is not mine. It's going to be Cooper DeJean. I'm going to stray off. You picked him as your player to watch. I'm going to relish in that for you. Congratulations on picking the best player of the game, in my opinion. I tried during the game. I'm like, okay, I said Saquon. I'm gonna try and find a way to get Saquon this because I think he deserved it. But with only averaging 2.3 a carry, I think it's kind of hard to do that. Now you could be very petty and be, oh, it's Saquon because they only focus on him so much, which is a valid point. But like, he didn't have the stats to back it up.
Nope.
So I'm going Cooper DeJean. He had a monster game in his biggest game of his career so far.
And
rookies on both sides of the ball.
And who else would you have liked to get a interception run back other than your return man?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what I said.
I don't quote me on this. I heard it from someone else. That was the first white guy to ever have a pick six in the Super Bowl. Which sounds believable, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, there could just be a random D lineman that caught it and ran it back for a touchdown. That's happened to be white. So I don't know if that's exactly true, but it wouldn't be shocking to me. So setting a record on his birthday, winning a ring his first year on his birthday, everything just on his birthday. That's awesome.
Pretty
birthday.
Crazy. Yep. Well, you know what? Thanks for tuning in. That is it with our Colts Corner episode as we take an early look at the incoming draft class. And then later this week, we will have our Unstable Pick 6 finale you will not want to miss, and a brand new episode that you will just have to see to believe.
Yep, this is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.